Hey friends, it's Susan from Legs Like Mine. So today I am going to answer a frequently asked question. I've been doing a lot of podcasts lately for different lipedema and lymphedema type podcasts, and this question always comes up. So I thought I would answer this for you all if you're just watching my channel and not all of the other podcasts. So if you haven't been following me, my name is Susan O'Hara, and I run legslikemine.com and all of the social media presences that go with it that are 100% geared towards providing support for the 11% of women in the world who have a condition called lipedema. And I have had it for a long, long time, but didn't know what it was for years, up until about 2019. Up until then, though, I thought I had cancer in my legs. I'm not kidding. I had this lump, especially in my left leg. I had named it Larry, and I had been to so many doctors to see, what was going on. Been to the gym, been all kinds of diets, done all kinds of weird exercises and stuff, and could not get that leg down. Both legs actually have it, but I even had lap band twice, and I went from 367 pounds to 194, which was like a size medium for me because I'm just a big person in general. And whenever I was even at that lowest weight, my legs still looked like tree trunks. They were just big column legs, and the left leg was bigger than the right, and all of that. So I'm going to tell a long story today. I hope you bear with me for the whole thing. But in general, I've always been plus size. My dad was a very large man, 6'6", and about 450 pounds. So I definitely take my build from him. But I've always been super confident too. Just like, hey, if it's not broken, don't fix it. So I had trouble getting pregnant and ended up doing fertility treatments after going to 8 different doctors before one could figure out what was wrong with me. And it was polycystic ovary syndrome, right? And I did these injectable fertility treatments that are hormone based. I had to take a lot of progesterone and stuff like that while I was pregnant. And then I had a seriously traumatic childbirth injury that basically ruptured a part of the stuff up in there, right? On the table. I almost died. They had to do some emergency surgery with like all these people holding their hands up in there trying to hold pressure and stuff. And I lost a lot of blood. So whenever they kept me in the hospital a couple of days longer than they would for a normal vaginal delivery. And when I left the hospital, I left with full-blown stage 3 lipolymphedema in my left leg. So, and I went in with just normal big girl legs, right? They were kind of shapely, they were kind of smooth, all that stuff. I was young. So anyway, of course, I went into my whole life like I'm taking care of kids, I'm exhausted, I don't have time for, dealing with this leg thing. And so I just went about my business. And fast forward many years, right, to like 2019, I think is what it was. And I was getting ready to take my Girl Scouts on a big trip to New York City. I was having all kinds of foot problems, especially with my left leg. And my legs were all lumpy, bumpy, just the typical lipedema type look, right? And I go to a podiatrist who's like, you need a foot brace for this big trip where you're going to be walking like miles and miles every day. So I'm going to send you to a brace specialist because nothing we have that's in stock is going to fit you. So they're going to have to make you one. I go to the foot brace specialist, and the lady and I are just chit-chatting it up, as I do. And she says, who's treating your lymphedema? And I went, what? Never heard the term before, right? And but that was enough to get me to go home. I took some pictures. I started down the rabbit hole on the internet, which I'm sure many of you have also done because you're figuring out like, what the heck is wrong with my legs, right? And I posted some pictures on a Facebook forum. And some ladies who were kind enough to help me out, they were like, you have lipedema and lymphedema. And once I heard that term, and that sent me really off to the races because then I could Google the term lipedema and I was like, oh my gosh, not only does that look like my legs, that looks like my mom's legs too. So I was a federal employee, and I went to Blue Cross and Blue Shield to see if they would cover treatment, and they wouldn't at the time. So I switched my insurance when open season happened to Aetna, and because Aetna covered the surgery. So I went from summertime to fallish of 2019 to no 2020 to 2021, and I had surgery just boom. Like I followed all the instructions for what Aetna required to get covered, all of the conservative measures, the compression receipts, all that stuff. Like I had it together, and they approved me in 4 days. So I went in. I have had 3 surgeries so far to do lipedema removal. I think I need about 8. I think that's what my doctor told me. And I'm taking a pause right now because even with insurance coverage for those 3 surgeries, I spent $84,000 out of pocket for all of the travel to Beverly Hills and the overnight stays in like those nursing facilities. And then even like the anesthesia and some other things weren't covered, even though the surgery itself was covered. And on one of my surgeries, I had I think I got a lot of mold in my lungs, to tell you the truth, because I was helping my mom clean out an old house the week before surgery, and I had this weird lung thing happen and ended up having to take an ambulance ride, like I think just a few blocks from the surgery center to Cedars-Sinai, and all of that was not planned for. Like that, the ambulance was wicked expensive, right? So anyway, I have had 3 surgeries now, and ever since all of this happened, like the day I came out of my very first surgery, I was bound and determined to see if I could spread information, spread my story, so that maybe just one more woman who was trying to figure out what the heck was wrong with her legs, what's wrong with her, why isn't she a normal woman, all the crazy stuff we think, because we don't know, right? I decided right then and there that I was going to start posting all of my stuff. So my very first video on YouTube is the day that I'm coming out of surgery. Like I'm in the car on the way from the surgery center to the post-op place, right? And I'm like, hey guys, this is Susan. I mean, I'm out of it. And that week that I spent in recovery in Beverly Hills, I had started this YouTube channel, a Facebook page, everything. I was getting 1,000 messages, contacts, connections from people every day. And it has slowed down a little bit, but now it's more consistent because I post pretty regularly. And of course, now I've got 6 books out about lipedema and all that stuff too. And again, it's just to get the word out, because I don't want anybody else to have to walk around wondering what's wrong with their legs and why can't they get this weight off of their legs. So that's a story of how I found out that I have lipedema. A lot of it was bootstrapping, right? The internet, all that stuff. And then fortunately for me, I had a doctor that was, she had never heard of it before, but when I brought her some information, she was like, yeah, that makes sense. And let me do some research and I'll figure it out. And so she helped me with all the post-op work and the pre-op work and testing and all that stuff too. So I was really lucky in that respect to have that support of someone who didn't know about it, but was willing to learn and believe me. So anyway, that's it. I hope this helps somebody, and, maybe you can relate, because I'm guessing a lot of people have a story where they ended up having to self-diagnose because there was nobody else, even after having years of medical care, routine appointments, all that stuff, that even recognized that that was what was going on. All right, I will talk to y'all later. Have a great day. Bye.